is. There's just such a million things come up, and it's not an excuse. So I got to get, that's optimal for me is 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night.
Make it happen.
Eat healthily. I eat meat, and vegetables. That's what
before we get to that, I gotta say, I had a YouTuber on he told me he had made a video that I watched of his, and he was like, so many people want to start like, okay, I'm going to start a diet January 1st. I'm going to start this day. I'm going to start when I'm 40. Right. He's like, start today. I'm like, damn it, he's right.
So to your point, maybe I start tomorrow because, like, why not today? Why? I turned 40 on December 28th, and I've been saying this for years. Like, I'm going to start when I'm 40. But yeah, I mean, why not start now?
I hated when I watched that video because I do that all the time. Like, I'm like, okay, Monday I'm gonna get back on track.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works for me, but I'm like, I could start Saturday afternoon and be better off for it.
But what's the ultimate goal? Like, what are we? So in terms of your podcast and optimal, right? Like being optimal, to what end?
That's part of the question, right? I mean, if your goal is just to sit on the couch and watch your favorite shows, but then again, I would continue,
or just live a good life. I mean,
but if that's your goal, and don't you want to extend that as long as possible?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that JT and I kind of like this came up in one of our conversations, and I'm like, oh, this is a good question because it depends on what like you said, what are your goals? For me, low battery warning. we got 20% left. What is like? I mean, I think about like my relationship with our grandparents, my other grandparents, and how active they were for a long period of time, and then it kind of faded off. Like, I'm like, I want to be there for my grandkids. I want to be there beyond that. I want to be around as long as I can, able to do as much as I can for as long as I can. So that's my what was the word you used? Purpose, right?
Yeah.
That's a purpose that drives me, I find.
Well, then it would be some scientific evidence on what extends lifetime. I don't know, because there's some people who drink and smoke their whole life and live to 150. It confuses me. My dad never took a sip of alcohol, never touched a cigarette, dies of a heart attack at 58. So yeah, that for me, because that's my goal. I want to live long. I don't want to have that happen. I want to see my kids grow old. I also have the goal of I want to live every day. Like, I want these days that I've got to be good days, right? So like, if I'm eating kale and making myself miserable because I'm running and I don't want to, is that maximizing the days I have, right? So I don't know. It's a tough one.
I know for me, like if I get my exercise in the morning, and even if I honestly, if I push hard, like if I number one, if I have the less I want to run and I do it, the better I feel about myself that I did it. And whatever happens during the day will never be as miserable as my run was. So like, and there is something to like I feel the same way if I work out. I mean, it doesn't have to be running. It could be swimming. It could be weightlifting or whatever. It's like I'm pushing hard, and then my day is easier than that. It's taking the edge off my day. I feel like I'm a better version of me when I've taken that edge off.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm on a healthier path. So, I mean,
well, I think if we have a second podcast, what we should do is I'll try some long distance running, getting that going. Cause that's one of the things I need to like, I want to incorporate cardio. I'll just call it cardio. And I'm like so adverse to wanting to, it's not something I want to do, but I know I should. How about you try meditating? And I bet you that you'll see that meditation's harder.
I already want to. Yes. I've
10 minutes quiet with yourself is hard.
There's a funny story here, which I don't have time to tell it. I couldn't tell it well enough, but Jerry and January went to a float tank together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They couldn't do it. Right. They they went insane.
I have I built a sauna at my house, and usually D and I will go together, but sometimes I'll go alone. And no, alone in your thoughts is absolutely yes, deal. I'm willing to start mine tomorrow. You gonna start running tomorrow?
That I don't know.